The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel is not your typical finance book. It doesn't overwhelm you with stock charts, investment jargon, or economic theories. Instead, it dives into something far more powerful: the way human behavior shapes our financial success or failure. Because when it comes to money, intelligence matters far less than most people think. The truth is, your financial outcomes are driven far more by your habits, your patience, and your ability to control your emotions than by the degrees you've earned or the numbers you can calculate. You can be a mathematical genius and still go broke if you let greed or fear control you. On the other hand, you can be an average earner who builds lasting wealth if you stick to steady, disciplined decisions. Over decades, this is one of the first big ideas Housel presents. Financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill rooted in behavior. To illustrate, Housel tells the story of two very different people. The first is a highly talented investor who made millions by making bold market moves, but then lost it all by taking one risk too many. The second is Ronald Read, a janitor and gas station attendant who lived frugally, invested consistently, and passed away with over $8 million in savings. He didn't have insider knowledge, he didn't chase hot stocks, and he didn't work in finance. What he did have was patience, discipline, and the ability to let compounding work for decades. This brings us to one of the most important and least understood forces in finance: compounding. Everyone nods when they hear the phrase compound interest, but very few people truly appreciate its power. Compounding works when your money earns returns, and those returns start earning returns themselves. Over time, this process snowballs, producing results that seem almost magical. But here's the catch: compounding only reveals its full power over very long periods. Warren Buffett is a perfect example. People admire his stock-picking skill, but his greatest advantage is time. He started investing as a child and never stopped. By his mid-60s, he was already wealthy, but the vast majority of his billions came after that age, simply because compounding had been working in the background for decades. The problem is that our brains aren't wired for long-term thinking. We evolved to focus on immediate threats, finding food, avoiding predators, not on plans that stretch 40 years into the future. That's why patience in investing feels so unnatural. When markets drop, our instincts scream at us to do something: sell, protect what's left. But more often than not, those who panic in downturns lock in their losses, while those who stay the course benefit when the market recovers. Housel makes it clear that your biggest financial enemy isn't the market, taxes, or inflation. It's you, your impulses, your emotions, and your inability to sit still when patience is the right move. Another theme in the book is that money is deeply personal. It's not just about numbers on a statement. It's about what those numbers mean to you: security, freedom, pride, status, peace of mind. And because money is so personal, your financial decisions will always be shaped by your unique life experiences. If you grew up poor, you'll have a different perspective on risk than someone raised in wealth. If you lived through a market crash, you'll approach investing differently from someone who has only seen the market go up. This is why two people can look at the exact same financial decision, say, buying a home or investing in stocks, and come to completely different conclusions. And the most fascinating part: both can be right based on their own experiences and goals. There is no single universal path to financial success. The book also warns against one of the most dangerous traps in modern life: comparison. Social media and constant exposure to others' lifestyles make it far too easy to measure yourself against people who seem richer, happier, or more successful. But you're seeing their highlight reel, not their reality. And if you make financial decisions just to keep up with someone else, you're likely to take on unnecessary risks or spend on things that don't bring you lasting happiness. Which brings us to a powerful concept in the book: enough. Without a sense of enough, no amount of money will ever feel satisfying. You'll constantly move the goalposts, chasing the next raise, the next investment win, the next luxury purchase. This endless chase can lead to reckless decisions and, ironically, financial ruin. On the other hand, if you know your personal definition of enough, you can avoid unnecessary risks and focus on what truly matters to you. One story Housel shares is about a wealthy hedge fund manager who bragged at a party about making more money in a single day than another guest would make in a lifetime. The other guest smiled and replied, "Yes, but I have something you'll never have: enough." That mindset is liberating. The book also dives into the roles of luck and risk. We tend to celebrate success as if it's purely the result of skill, and we blame failure entirely on bad decisions. In reality, both luck and risk are always at play. Some people succeed because they were in the right place at the right time. Others fail because of circumstances beyond their control. Recognizing this helps you stay humble when you succeed and compassionate toward those who don't. Housel also argues that you don't have to be perfectly rational with money. You just have to be reasonable. Perfect rationality might mean putting every spare cent into the highest-yielding investment, but that's not how most people live. Being reasonable might mean keeping a larger emergency fund than necessary, or paying off your mortgage early, even if the math says investing that money would yield more. If those decisions help you sleep at night, they're worth it. The ultimate goal of money, Housel says, is freedom, the ability to control your time. Beyond a certain point, more money doesn't necessarily mean more happiness, but having control over how you spend your days is priceless. If you wake up and can choose what to work on, who to work with, and when to stop, you're wealthier than many people with bigger bank accounts. Building this kind of wealth doesn't require brilliance or constant action. It requires avoiding big mistakes, thinking in decades rather than days, and letting time do the heavy lifting. Many financial disasters happen when people try to speed up the process, chasing hot trends, over-leveraging with debt, or betting too much on a single opportunity. Survival is the foundation of wealth. Your primary job is to stay in the game. That means avoiding moves that could wipe you out completely, whether that's a risky investment, too much debt, or living without any safety net. Once you prioritize survival, compounding can quietly do its work in the background. In the end, the psychology of money leaves you with a simple but profound truth: mastering money is less about mastering the markets and more about mastering yourself. Your behavior, your discipline, and your patience are the most valuable financial tools you'll ever have. Protect them, nurture them, and use them well, and you'll not only build wealth, but also the freedom to live life entirely on your terms.